together some ideas for what the event is going to look like that day. It will take place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but we'll be kind of occupying the space from early morning till late evening that day. We're trying to keep it, for the most part, contained within the fence that contains Kennedy Rec Center, some of the indoor and the outdoor space there. We did try to kind of imagine what the impact might be on the neighborhood that day, and what we're thinking is that there might be some additional foot traffic on the sidewalk. We're really trying to use the entrance on the north side of O Street between 6th and 7th Street as kind of our main point of entry and exit from the center, and to restrict our impact to that area. We really are going to be encouraging people, including volunteers, to take public transportation or to use private garages, but there may be people using street side parking, legal street side parking that day. And we are also potentially going to be using some of that sidewalk and street space on O Street for mobile health units, for shuttles that we're going to be shuttling people in from shelters from throughout the city, and potentially some porta-johns just to support that's an important need for people who are going to be at the event. So that's essentially what we are planning on doing. We welcome feedback and questions. We have several months leading up to the event, and we'll, please feel free to ask any questions now or down the line. We'll be looking for volunteers. So yeah, open it up for kind of lots of questions.
So one question or clarification before I pass it to Commissioner Brown, whatever district the Kennedy Recreation Center is located. The application says the 19th of October. You said the 9th of October.
19th. I apologize. Yes, it's Thursday, October 19th.
Commissioner Brown.
Okay. Just looking at what you're proposing, do you have a guess or estimate of how many people you're expecting?
So throughout the day, what we're anticipating is about 500 people, participants, and additional people in terms of volunteers,
okay,
and providers. Okay. Last year we served 357 people throughout the course of that same time span.
Okay. Just in reference to trying to do it this year, how was the crowd control handled here at that other location?
Sure. So we do a heavy. So all of our staff commit their time to the event.
Okay.
We also have had we do a heavy duty volunteer recruitment push.
Okay. Okay.
And so actually each participant is matched with a volunteer that spends their time. They spend their time together throughout their time at the event.
Okay.
And so that kind of helps people navigate and kind of know where to go.
Okay.
In terms of security this year, what we're thinking, because last year it was actually at a shelter, we have a planning committee of nonprofits throughout the city, including Bread for the City, including organizations like some, that are helping us really envision what might be needed for the event.
Okay.
We're hoping to get staff from some of those organizations who work in that space to help us with some of the traffic control and handle kind of, and if any situations were to arise, to help us kind of handle that. But we've been doing this for 2 years, and nothing significant has happened, and we're hoping for the same this year.
Well, I'm hopeful that this will be just as successful. Do I make a motion at this time?
Well, let's see if there are any other questions from commissioners first.
Yeah, I'm just going through this, and it might be in here. I haven't seen it. Who should we contact about volunteering? I know there'll be a number of people in my district that would be happy to volunteer.
Sure. So
is it in like the contact information? Perfect. Excellent.
So we're still pulling together some of the marketing materials, and once we have this year's volunteer form and all that stuff up, we'll be sure to share it with the ANC.
Excellent.
So y'all be taking donations, healthcare?
Yeah.
Healthcare?
Yeah, we're looking for providers who can do anything and everything that might be of need to the community, as well as donations. We give out, like last year we gave out hygiene kits and clothing and things like that.
So, question logistically, you're looking to have about 500 people you're going to serve during the course of the day. mean, are you scheduling specific times for these shuttles to arrive so that everybody's not arriving at the same time? How would you handle it?
Yeah, so that's what we did last year. We had to kind of, that's how we did our best to control traffic. It was, Union Station is a very visible location, and people were kind of passing by our location, and we expected some of those walk-ins, but in terms of the big kind of influx of people throughout the day, we had shuttles coming in every hour. And then we were giving people Metro cards to go home whenever they, whenever they wanted to go home, basically. So the big rush is generally in the morning, but we organize our volunteer shifts based on when we expect people to be coming as well.
Any other questions from the commission? Hearing none, any questions from the community? Yes, the question in the back.
Is your vendor list closed for the event, or how would someone that wants to offer services operate those?
We could talk tonight.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Commissioner Brown?
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we support this effort with this ANC, and whatever support we can give you from this end, let us know.
Thank you.
Friendly amendments, specifically that we support the Department of Parks and Recreation application for McKinney Recreation Center for the 19th of October, and then we communicate that support to the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Accept?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got me, yeah.
All right, just to note, the reason that we did not hear a presentation from the 3rd District is because unfortunately there was a shooting, and the official that we were waiting to hear from had to depart in order to be able to attend to that. So apologize for not being able to ask any questions related to 3rd District fund issues. Having no other new business, any old business?
Well, yeah, I just, I got a question. Is there somebody here from Ed? I talked to someone earlier, they might have left. I don't know if the commission, because I think there were supposed to be some developers coming to discuss the development on the roof deck. And I was talking about this with Kevin last weekend. And going through the RFP and talking to some of the developers, it's not clear if the city is confident that that space can be developed. So I'd like to propose a motion that the commission send a letter to DEMPED asking, the likelihood that that space can be developed and what kind of work they've done to ensure that it can be developed according to the RFP.
To clarify, you mean the parking deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? I'll just mention that I did contact Soroush Padwala, the Director of Real Estate for Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, and posed that question, but certainly there's no reason that the commission can make an official.
And then the one other, the other issue, and I guess see what the commission thinks about inquiring into DEMPED. But the one thing I thought was a bit unusual, and maybe it's not, but bringing into Cobb Park, there was a couple developers that have included Cobb Park into that development, and that's raised a lot of concern in my district. I think Kevin has told me it's raised a lot of concern in theirs, and I think maybe we should talk to DEMPED about if it wants to develop Cobb Park, if that's something it wants part of the development, it needs to be said in the RFP.